Welcome to the Bootstrap Paradox podcast. I am your host Jisra Jasar, and today we will be talking about cyberbullying. So now we are joined with our guest MP Virk, who is cybersecurity specialist, Sahaj, who is research analytic, and Asavri, who will be representing the point of view of a victim.
Hello, Jasraj. So I'm Sehaj Jolly. I'm third year electronics and computer student.
Hello, I'm MP Virk. I'm a Cisco Certified Networking Associate and Certified Cybersecurity Analyst. And I have done Cyber Security Foundation Professional Certification. I have been into this industry since 4 to 5 years. Today I'm here to talk about the technicalities of the cyberbullying.
Hi, my name is Asavri. I'm a student of humanities. Today I come here as a speaker on behalf of a cyberbullying victim.
Okay, so before we jump into anything, I want Mr. Virk to introduce the term cyberbullying.
Okay, so cyberbullying is a bullying that takes place over social media and other messaging platforms. Cyberbullying includes sending, posting, or sharing threatening messages to humiliate someone. It also includes harassing someone by posting personal photographs or videos online without their consent.
Okay, so Sahaj, as you claim to conduct surveys on cyberbullying, can you please share some data with us?
Sure. So first of all, Facebook actually came into known in 2003 to 2004 in India. People were quite aware about the stuff that there is something like Facebook. So they weren't aware like how to use it, how to properly use it, but they just know that yeah, we can socialize ourselves on Facebooks. Children those days were like very much aware and excited about Facebook. But if we talk about the ratio and the percentage of the cyberbullying at that time, when I talk about 2003 to 2010, the cybercrime was basically up to 64%. Mostly the users that time, the 64% of users were actually facing some kind of cyberbullying, but they weren't aware about the term cyberbullying. They weren't aware what's happening and what's not happening, what is good and what is not good. So in 2010, after that, Instagram, WhatsApp, everything came into our knowledge. People were aware about the stuff. They were aware about the websites and apps and many things. They knew how to use it. And then lockdown happened in 2020. From that time to this time, till today, the ratio was 54%, but it increased up to 74% in lockdown. So we can have an estimation in our mind that how much cyberbullying is increasing, and people are not aware about the cyber security, cyber crime, cyberbullying, because they are not aware about the term cyber, in fact.
Okay, that was very informative. Now, I would like to request Asavari to share any case of cyberbullying that happened near you.
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Jasraj. Talking about the incidents, I think 1 in 10 Indian adolescents every month face cyberbullying. If I talk about the incidents, the most common incident which even I look around myself and I see my acquaintances or my well wishers going through that is of the fake accounts. I every once or twice in a month see stories on Instagram in which they say, "Hi, please report this account. Someone has made a fake account of mine." Another incident which my one of my acquaintance shared with me was that he or she also got her ID hacked, and then her ID was used for false purposes, and some societally non-ethical pictures of her were also shared through her ID. So these are the few incidents which actually I know about cyberbullying through my acquaintances, and there are n number of such incidents from which teenagers or adolescents go through.
All right, like cyberbullying is now spreading regularly these days. So, in social aspects, Sahaj, what do you think? What motivates people to practice cyberbullying?
Okay, so I don't want to be like offensive about anything. It is actually based on our education system. See, when we were in class 7th or class 8, we were having those IT books and computer books, that this is the PC, this is the CPU, this is the brain of a computer, and everything like that. We We were taught to use the computer, but we weren't taught to how to use the computer, and that makes a lot of difference. People and the students, everything starts from being a student. As you know, everyone says that being in a school is something you learn from basic, but people were aware that yeah, this is the computer, we have to use it, but how we have to use it, they weren't aware about that. So I think I won't say this is the only thing that actually motivates people to do cyberbullying, but we say like we fight with each other. And if someone's new, when we were younger, and if someone knew that how to hack someone's ID, and even if they hack, by sending the code or anything like that, that was such a dope thing, bro. That guy knows hacking. That guy is dangerous. We used to quote him like that. So I think like if we are not aware about the proper, if you're not given the proper education about the computer, about the cyber term, and how to use the computer, if we use the computer for the wrong purpose, then what can be the consequences, what can be the false expect, then yes, people will get motivated to do anything they want to. People will be like sharp enough, and their mindset will be made positively enough that we have to like regret that person, and we can do anything like that to harass or bully her in public. So if we are not educating them properly, then of course they will get motivated to do anything they want to.
We heard the social reason for cybercrime. Now let's move to Vic. Mr. Vic, can you tell us something about the technical reasons which may cause cybercrimes?
Okay, just Raj, there are two categories in this. Like, first comes the human error, in which hackers exploit the human feelings, then the machines, right? And mostly everyone like these days agrees to the terms and conditions on every website before making their accounts, but no one actually reads them. What exactly it's written over there, right? And they just skip it and they just agreed everything, and then everyone ends up posting all their personal and private information on the web. If in any case a data breach happens, then your data is going to be on the dark web and it will be sold for some bucks. People are like, what anyone can do if they know our birth date, phone number, etc., like all the personal information about you, right? But they are not aware of how it can be used to exploit them. Like, it can be used to guess your passwords, and like it can be used for the phishing attacks, etc., and many more. There are many more attacks which attacker can exploit, right? In today's time, data is actually a money. People post their pictures, videos on social media, but remember one thing: even if you delete that specific photographs or videos or any specific post, they are never deleted from the actual web. They remain there somewhere in the database of the companies, at least for some months. According to the policies of the companies and the info you are posting online, it's open to everyone, like who is your friend or whoever is following you, right? And a normal Google search with your name can even give a bunch of info about you. What we actually call it is OSINT. Hackers use this technique to collect the info about the target. What is OSINT? Basically, it means open source intelligence, the info which is available to everyone on the web. People are giving info on the social sites and trusting unknown people, which can be exploited. And unknown can be catfishing you to gather some info about you. And what exactly is catfishing? It's like where a person creates a fictional personal or fake identity on any social networking service, usually targeting a specific victim. The attacker can send you any malicious web links, and everyone out there are always curious to open it and check it, but they don't know the consequences of this, how bad and dangerous it can be. That could be any phishing website where you will end up giving all of your private data, or even worse, like the moment you open the link, the malicious code is going to be executed and the attacker hijacks your browser, and he or she can sniff your cookies, your session, your passwords, your browsing history, and can even control your browser by manipulating the browser remotely. And then let's talk about the some other category in this, which comes the like mechanical errors, in which attackers manipulate the machines, which includes your softwares and the operating system you are using, like which are not updated, and that can be exploited with the known vulnerabilities. People open up malicious links and or download some sort of apps or software from any link sent by the unknown person, and they end up downloading a backdoor with which attacker can control your whole device evenly. He or she can turn your cameras on and record your video clips, and thus someone can even use your private data to blackmail the victim.
Okay, so Savri, you have someone very near and dear to you who faced cyberbullying. So, can you shed some light on the outcomes of cyberbullying an individual?
Yes, sure. Talking about the outcomes, I think the first and foremost outcome that is also very natural will be panic or anxiety. Now, the intensity of the panic and the anxiety that really matters on quite a few factors. The first factor will be awareness. If the person is already aware that what cyberbullying is, what has happened to him or her, maybe the intensity of the panic will be low because he or she knows how to handle it, where to report it, and how to tackle all the situation. Then second factor comes the age. Now cyberbullying can happen to a person of any age limit, whether to teenagers, whether to adolescents. But talking about the teenagers, since there is a policy in India that a person is allowed to make an account on social media when he or she reaches the age of 18. Now, suppose if a teenager has made an account using some fake date of birth and is cyberbullied, that teenager is literally trapped because he or she, first of all, does not know what has happened because maybe he or she is not that aware. He or she is just a small child. Then he or she does not know that if even if he or she knows that I have to report something, he or she will think twice or thrice that if I report that this thing has happened to me, then this thing will also come out that I have made a fake account, or I have made an account for which I am not eligible yet. So there the problem is that maybe teenagers will not handle in a better way than the adolescents, because for the adolescents making an account is legal and they can happily and without any fear report that they have been cyberbullied. Third factor which I think is culture, because people in India actually do not realize that if something like this happens, it is a crime. It is not that you really have to let it go. So this awareness that it is a crime and you have to report it really depends on your culture, because I think as compared to foreign countries, people are actually aware that yes, it is a crime and we have to report it. In India, whereas there are like so many crimes that we just let them go, so cyberbullying is, I think, one of them. And fourth, I think, is the experience. If a person has already experienced cyberbullying way back, then he or she, if again experiences it, knows more about it and easily will report it. But if it has happened to someone for the first time, he or she will literally panic and will think, okay, how do I do it, and should I even do it or not? So these kind of outcomes and these kind of factors, they depend and take out the panic or anxiety from the person. Another thing which we need to realize is that cyberbullying really plays with your mind. It really upsets you mentally, so it is something which will attack your mind. So cyberbullying, if it really prolongs, then there can be a lot of psychological problems or issues a person will face, like anxiety, panic attacks, depression, which we also see in our society. But we can only come out of it is only by reporting that I have been cyberbullied. And that can be only done by making people aware.
Okay, so as we all know, the world is completely dependent on technology. Nowadays, any children who is even less than the age of 13 have a mobile phone in their hands. So I wonder, how can a people avoid being a victim of cyberbullying? Mr. Vic, I want you to back up on this.
Okay, on this, first of all, like the main thing I want to say is like one should not give their private information to anyone on the internet, no matter who they are. Even when you sign up on any social media platform, normal details are asked, like name, mail ID, and password, like which is necessary. But after that, there comes some additional informations which is like optional to fill, such as like your phone number, your birth date, your gender, your hobbies, and even your photographs, right? Which is generally filled by everyone. People should avoid giving unnecessary information on the web. And second thing I will like to say is like, stop responding to unknown people. Turn on the privacy rules on your account, that any person who is not your friend can't even see your photographs. And don't get in anyone's trap. Don't serve any malicious website which don't use https connections. And in most cases of phishing sites, you will find the domain name will be the relevant to the original, so be aware of that. Never open any phishing or spam emails. Download apps and software from trusted known official websites. Don't download the pirated software. They actually contain malicious trojans which are used to crack the software and which can affect your device, and which do even. Never send any private photographs or videos to anyone on the internet. And evenly, the third thing I will request all the parents, like they can and they should take proper parental controls, what their child is surfing on the web and what social media apps are being used by them. Parents can even block http websites and any other social media website or any adult website that are not appropriate for their children according to their opinion. It's very simple configurations one can do in your Wi-Fi router settings or on device browser settings. Monitor a teen social media sites, apps, and browsing history if you have concerns that cyberbullying may be occurring. There are many free software options and apps available to help parents to restrict content, block domains, or view their children's online activity, including social media, without looking at their child's device every day.
So, looking at everything, if a person still faces this crime, then what can be the solutions? I mean, how can a person escape this trap?
So, first of all, if I talk about the solution, we shouldn't get panic. I've seen people they get panic, which is natural, of course. If something happens to me, I'll get panic. That's for sure, right? But instead of getting panic, I think we should collect the evidence. That is important, like anything regarding the attacker is important. If you want this case to be like properly completed, to have the solution to your problem, if you want that, so I think the evidence is important. I've seen people they get panic and they just delete all the stuff. They delete the chats, they block the attacker, and then they delete their own account. uh, which I will say, like, it is normal, it is natural, it comes from inside that we should do that, because people are not aware like properly what's wrong and what's right in this cyber world. But I would suggest, instead of getting panic and blocking everything, deleting everything, if you have anything regarding the attacker, your chat, the account, or anything, any wordings, any sentences, you should have a screenshot of it. You should have a proper evidence that this happened like this. Don't like take tension about the stuff, what will society say, or what would your parents say, what would your peer, people are scared about the peer pressure these days. But instead of worrying about all this stuff, as a good citizen, as a good human being, that this should not happen to any other person, you should collect the evidence. You should give it to the authorities so that authorities can catch the attacker. If we have the authorities, if we have a proper cyber team, and of course we have it, so try to do that. Try to take the evidence, try to collect the evidence, anything you have, and give it to the authorities.
Well, addition to this, I would like to add on that we got several internet laws which are there, but people are not really aware about them. Like for the cyberbullying, they are as follows: like Section 67, the Act prescribes punishment for publishing or transmitting obscene material in electronic form. Then another act, like it's Section 507 IPC. This section states that if anyone receives criminal intimidation by way of an anonymous communication, then the person giving threats shall be punished with imprisonment. And one more, like Section 66E of IT Act, This section prescribes punishment for violation of privacy. The section states that any person who intentionally violates the privacy by transmitting, capturing, or publishing private pictures of others shall be punished.
Moreover, it's a big myth that we do not have, like, I won't say it's a proper myth, but still people believe that where to report. Like, if we know 100 number is for police. If something happened, we can call on this number, but people aren't aware about these rules as mentioned by MP Virk, and we are not aware that where to report it exactly. Moreover, if I talk about the ratio and percentage of the given statistics, like, about the research, so out of 60 cyberbullying case, only 20 are registered, and, like, just 3 to 4 cases are being resolved. If we have the rules and if we have the authorities to look after that, so we should not get panic. We should stick to our government rules, and we should report it. And I request all the government authorities to look into this matter, because it's a huge matter. It's a big deal to each and every citizen. So if we have the rules, we stick to those rules. We don't get panic. We report it, and then we have the solution to our problem.
That was very great. So, Sahaj, as you are an official of Bootstrap Paradox, can you explain how Bootstrap Paradox is helping the public in case of cyberbullying?
See, it gives me immense pleasure to share that, when we have knowledge about something, especially about technology, because it's an industrial change, 401. So if we have the knowledge, then we are using this knowledge, we are using the techniques to solve the social problem. We are not just awareing the people. This is a community, where the technicians meet, and we are awareing people. Yes, we are awareing people about each and everything, not only about the social aspects, but also the technical aspects also. But side by side, we are here to help them. If something happens to anyone regarding cyber or anything, they face technical problems or technical bullying or anything like that, we are here. We are here to help them, and we will try our best to, if they are scared, because it's very difficult to come and open up. So if they are scared, if they are frightened, then they can actually share us our problems, and we can lead to some kind of solution. We, as a team, as a community, are trying to help each and every citizen, every person on the matter of humanity. By using technology, we actually help them, and we try to provide the solution to the problem.
Well, that's all for today's episode. Thanks for listening, and special thanks to MP Virk, Sahaj, and Savri for being with us. We will be coming up with more tech related episodes soon. Remember to stay in touch with our Bootstrap Paradox community. Thank you.